This is DayZ. We're here on Xbox Series S. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So it has been a couple years since we last took a look at DayZ on the Series S. I've been working on kind of refreshing my DayZ reviews of the differing versions of the game recently because, well, it's kind of been a long time for quite a few of them, and DayZ is an ever-evolving sort of experience. So what are we getting here? It's 1080p, 60 FPS. There is also HDR support. And yeah, it is a game that has changed a lot. We're here as of the 1.23 update for the game. So that means I think it's been quite a few. We were either at 1.13 or 1.14 last time we did the Series S review, as to say, taking a look at the game at that current point in time. So obviously I have a lot of experience with DayZ, having played it on many different platforms and in many different ways over the years, so it's always fun to dive in and have an excuse to take a look at the game running somewhere else. So now I'm used to the game looking a lot cleaner, obviously, like Series X and then PS5, higher resolution. This still looks pretty good. Like, honestly, the Series S version looks pretty great. It's pretty sharp. It is a little jagged around the edges. Like, it's definitely a lot more noticeable. Oh, wow, there's actually a gun here. It's a lot more noticeable than in comparison to, you know, the high resolution we get with the Series X version, but like all things considered, it's not too bad from a visual look and aesthetic standpoint. Now, DayZ doesn't run great on like anything really, like maybe PC, I guess, but like servers wise and everything like that, there's always going to be like stutters and, you know, some technical bumps, and it's always going to have some kind of weird sort of issue to it, honestly, in regards to like performance. But yeah, it's actually relatively smooth here, which is expected and desired from the game. Now, you will notice that in the draw distance there is a bit more kind of like rendering or blobbiness of objects and trees. Because DayZ is a game where you can see, and I saw that guy over there. Yeah, I can see a guy over there. This is being chased by a zombie. So, like, DayZ is a game where it is, like, a large draw distance. Like, it's a big open world. Like, a massive open world game. Because I guess if you're not familiar with DayZ, which, again, is the whole point of doing these reviews to some degree, kind of catching up on things for people that are, you know, out of the game for a while or curious how it runs on this platform, or, you know, really actually looking at it for the first time. Because, believe it or not, DayZ does still strangely get more and more popular every year, which is kind of amazing. So good for them for actually keeping that going, which is intriguing. So yeah, you get this like massive open world. It's 230 kilometers squared. Like, it's absolutely massive. The only way to see a map is if you find a map in-game, or you collect a map, in case you're wondering. Because it is a tedious game. Yeah, it is definitely a tedious game to play, that is for sure. But yeah, it is kind of interesting in regards to like the design of the game and the growth of it and everything like that. So it is a game you can play in different servers. Like, there's different ways to play it. And I guess we should start by breaking that down. So it's 60-player multiplayer servers. You jump in, you can invite a friend, quote unquote, but you'd have to find them in the world. You don't just like appear beside each other. You actually would have to go out there and try to find them. But yeah, you're playing largely alone. You have to create like a grouped up scenario if you do want to actually connect with others. And yeah, it's really quite intriguing from that perspective, because you have to make choices in how you interact with others. You know, will they be friendly? Will they be enemies? I always say the other players are the real danger. I mean, the zombies have gotten tougher over the years in terms of like the damage they do and their problems in regards to like killing you and stuff. But it's always the other players that you really have to watch out for and be careful of, because they are the ones that are very likely going to be the ones that like kill you or take care of you and knock you out. So you can play in the official servers, which is what we're doing right now. Or you can play in custom servers. So there's custom servers, and they go well behind or beyond the realms of 60 players. You can go up to like 100 something or something like that. You have to pay for those, you know, outside of it to like a third party group, but the option is there. And those ones are kind of free, so people mod them. Free in terms of not being like controlled, because I just obviously said it costs money, but yeah, you can like have all these kinds of mods. There's seasonal things going on. People do all kinds of crazy stuff with those servers, which is always really, really intriguing to me that that is a thing that exists and is just readily available. So that's where you can get, like, if you want to just do, like, action, there's, like, team deathmatch type stuff. I think this major city is going to be just, like, picked dry. I'm kind of wondering if I should just kind of die and go somewhere else, which is kind of funny. But, yeah, so you got those two different ways to play the game. Then there's the main map, which is Chinaris, which is where we're at now. And then there's a DLC map, which is Livonia. And I've always wondered if we're maybe going to get another one of those at some point, another expansion map. So Livonia is a bit like more of a springtime level, so they've got different vibes to them. And from there, then you pick servers. It's like some servers are focused on, you know, regular play. Some of them have keyboard and mouse support. They let you know that. Some are like forced in the first-person perspective, and you know, some do both third and first, and there's different servers for different things that you want to do, essentially. And there's full, like, day-night cycles, and there really is actually a lot of complexity to how you go about playing this experience. It's really, really quite interesting. So it's a survival game. It's, as I mentioned, kind of tedious because you have to survive against so many others in so many ways. So you have to survive against the elements. Like, you can get cold, you can also get heated as well, like you insulate yourself with clothing. You can have to deal with weather like rain, which will make you colder. You have to contend with disease. You get sick. Your character can like die from sickness. You can lose blood and then get knocked out. You can have like a leg or something break, and then that will cause like some shock issues to you, or might make it so you can't move very fast. You gotta watch your food and your drink levels so that you don't die of hunger or of thirst. There's, like I said, a lot to it. The sound you make matters. The ways you like fight kind of matter. It's really, really quite intriguing, and like I said, there's just like a lot of depth to it. It's a game that is mechanically quite detailed. Like, you can pick up like twigs and craft, and you can build forts, or you can repair cars, or you can, you know, make different things, like something to stab creatures with, or you can go and try to find them. And the loot economy is either with you or against you. It's got day-night cycles. It's got actually really nicely upgraded skyboxes, which is like a newer thing. They actually move anymore, or are they just static? Did they replace the old skyboxes with static skyboxes? Oh. That's sad. When did they do that update? Yeah, those clouds don't move anymore, do they? Or no, they do. They do, I think. Slightly? Yeah, no. Do they move? I'm losing my mind here. I can't tell if it's just like a very subtle movement of the clouds. Maybe they do move. I don't know. The skyboxes, from like a realistic standpoint, I think they're more realistic, but like, I don't know. That's a weird one. It kind of looks like they move a little bit, but very subtly. I don't know. Anyways, skyboxes got changed. That's a new feature. So it might be better for you. I think there was more dynamic movement before, but maybe it's just because I haven't really looked at it too deeply. Yeah, they look like they're moving. Okay, so maybe they're not static. Maybe I jumped to that conclusion too fast. But yeah, usually like DayZ had some like really majestic sort of skyboxes, and definitely like time of day skyboxes. And then, you know, they did this new thing where it's like more realistic looking skies, which do kind of look like more like photos as opposed to things. But anyways, usually the effect, in general, I think the effect is more realistic, is what I'm trying to get to. And then you yourself, you know, everything gets all like desaturated when you're like dying and feeling the pain of life and all that stuff and getting towards death. And it's a permadeath system, so like when you die, you know, you're just dead. You don't come back. Well, you do come back, and you can have your like custom character, quote unquote, but you know, there's just like a few presets. that you make. So you customize, but you don't really customize, or you can come back as a random survivor. And then you come back into the game. And then you'd have to find your body if you wanted any of your loot, because you start with nothing and you have to go and scavenge again, so it does have a permadeath system to it. It's interesting from that standpoint. Some people really like that, and some don't. And then, yeah, the whole stamina system's really interesting in regards to, like, combat and using guns, and your guns can, like, jam, and, you know, it's hard to find bullets for your guns, or magazines for your guns, or attachments, and there's a lot to see in the game, too, where you get a lot of the stuff you're looking for. You know, you can find more guns in, say, a military base, or maybe you find an amusement park, or maybe there's a castle. Like, it's a largely just open game. Like, you can wander forever over that way, forever that way, forever around the coast there. And, like, you just kind of go and you go and you go. And, yeah, it is interesting from that standpoint that, like, there are so many things to see. There's even, like, resorts. I think there's, like, a ski resort and stuff now. So they keep adding landmarks, but it's mostly, like, these, I guess you would say, coupled towns that are found and scattered throughout the area. You're just trying to go from, like, place to place and, you know, try to figure out your mapping. It's very much just, like, really perplexing and hardcore when you first start out, and as you learn the locations, it's a little bit better, but I found myself even getting lost today, and I've however many hours in this game, which is ridiculous. You might come across wildlife, too. Very rare, though. There's, like, chickens, and there's, like, some deer occasionally. There's bears on Livonia, specifically. Lots of bears. And they do different events, too, which is kind of neat, like Halloween, Christmas. We usually do, you know, like a little video each time a holiday pops up. Oh, and this game has, like, a really annoying system where it's, like, if you join different servers, you have to wait a penalty of, like, a minute and a half. And it, like, spawns you randomly in the middle of the forest, so you just die. That's so that you don't, like, leave one server, join another server, and then, like, move where you are, and then join back and be in a different spot so you could be in someone's base. I mean, your bases get destroyed constantly in this game anyways, and it's not really worth putting the effort in regardless, but, like, you know, people get really mad about the base jumping thing, and it's just, like, eye-rolling, kind of, because then, you know, everyone else gets penalized, and you have to wait forever. But don't worry, I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me why I'm wrong about this, but it's just annoying that every time I go to record this and to a different server, I have to wait and wait and wait, but, whatever, you know, that's not me. So, yeah, it's really, really quite interesting. There's other games like this, but there's nothing really quite like DayZ. It feels sort of endless and then at the same time limiting to some degree. Like, the core game itself hasn't changed a whole lot, but the things you do in it they have steadily added things, they have changed things, it has evolved, as to say. That's another real player there. We don't have anything, so there's no point of even fighting, but I could have punched him in the face a few times if I wanted to, I guess, but yeah, who really cares, I suppose. Anyways, the game just offers a lot for you to do, a lot for you to see. Oh, human steaks, that's great. This is probably a very safe place for someone that is human like myself to be. That is for sure. Yeah, this is what we're talking about, like, server lag and stuff. Yeah. It can really be a pain, and it'll get you caught indoors and end you. And then you're just kind of sad. Kinda sad. But anyways, there really is a lot to do in DayZ. I mentioned that there's, like, you know, you can kind of build bases, you can fix a car, which is like a once in a blue moon kind of opportunity. Because it's so hard to get materials or supplies in this game. You gotta go to the right places and get lucky. Then there's the element of, like, gardening. So you can do gardening, which is actually not too bad to do. You build plots with, like, a shovel, and then you can, like, kind of grow, you know, farms, and you can grow things like peppers or pumpkins, and, you know, that's always really interesting. Look, there's like 3 survivors around here. They changed how the spawning works in this game. I swear, it's you see a lot more people at spawn places more commonly. Maybe it's more like centralized spawning locations now. Because that's a lot of new players just in one area. That's really weird to me, honestly. It's just bizarre nowadays. So, yeah, it's a game that will apparently test your ability to survive. It will challenge you. It will offer so many twists along the way, you know, like Can you gather what you need to make it? Can you deal with the really harsh amounts of food and drinking that you have to deal with? And it's really going to come down to how much knowledge you have, because you have to learn, and you can also cook food, and just basically like every little survival thing you could expect has been thought of for this game. They really do hit all of the little marks. And it's going to be interesting as we do come across, obviously like this game's going to keep getting updates as they've mentioned. But it should also be noted that like, there were some leaked details that DayZ 2 is a coming, which should completely revamp things in terms of engine, and I don't know how that's going to impact this one or what, but it is a game that obviously I keep getting like drawn back to. I don't know in terms of like spending more time than I used to playing it back in the day, but it is something where occasionally I come back and I do like an update video, do a new review or something like that. And there's obviously there's reasons we do that. It's a popular game. It's one that does evolve. The simplicity of the core gameplay loop is always the same, but what you get to do within it, the challenges and everything like that you face are always evolving with new activities and new things. I always say like every update just makes it a little harder to survive, a little bit more tedious. Like they give you some new tricks and things, and there's always like a new gun they throw you, or a new tool, or a new hunting thing, or some kind of new medical thing, but yeah, it's always a little bit of a pain to deal with. That is for sure. There's always some kind of twist that like just does not work in your favor. But that's the fun and the beauty of the DayZ landscape, is just trying to like make heads or tails of it, find some good loot, try not to get shot or stabbed or punched by some person on your adventure. A lot of it's just trying to find food though. I find it's always very hard to get snacks and stuff. Oh, look, some Chef Boyardee. That's nice. I don't know. Like, I like a lot of what DayZ has to offer. It's definitely got its moments. It's got its twists. It's got its turns. It's got its heartbreak where you get, like, shot, you die. You're like, no, I lost all my stuff. Or a bear comes and finds you, or some other weird twist comes and ends your life, and you go, oh, this is the worst. And I don't know, it's interesting. It really genuinely is, and I just mostly, yeah, it had literally been a couple of years since I took a look at this on the Series S, and I was like, oh, should probably get on that at some point and do a new updated look at it for the year. Considering, yeah, again, it's been a couple of years, and the game has changed a lot. But I think for Series S, it is relatively similar in terms of performance. Like, obviously, visually, I think it looks fine, but, you do get that more aggressive sort of detail of things rendering in the world. Then you pair that with an actually decent frame rate, and you get a more dynamic world as they continue to update it. And yeah, it certainly is an interesting title. I think, if you're coming into this for the first time, will it be for you? That's hard to say. It really depends on if you can handle this sort of game. Nothing holds your hand. You literally will have to sit here and learn all of the beats. Like, the tutorial for this is, like, literally just images, and that's even a new thing that they added. There's all these complexities to how you use weapons, open food, interact with stuff, build things, take stuff apart, and then survive. It's not like a straightforward kind of crafting game. It really isn't. Like, it is mostly focused at you moving around, scavenging, trying to grab items, seeing things, trying to live to that next day, and then eventually dying, or a server wipe will kill you, or some kind of other tedious thing will end you, like getting sick, or eating the wrong thing, or other players, usually other players, or the zombies, you get glitched and stuck, and yeah, there's a lot of ups and downs in this game. It certainly is one of the more fascinating experiences I've had with a video game over the years. There's always something that is causing a problem. There's always something that comes up and is a big issue. But yeah, that's basically an update on DayZ, I guess. Survival, hunting, crafting, building, exploring, doing stuff, managing your resources, trying to live, playing the main map, the Livonia map, dealing with others, having fun in custom servers. Really play it your own kind of way and survive however you can. Good luck out there.